Hi friends, it's Alexis at the Vinquisition, and today I have something a little bit different for you. It's story time. I promise that there is a takeaway, but you'll just have to wait until the end. This is the story of when I passed the certified Somm exam. Now, I am not a Master Sommelier, but I did get my certification through the Court of Master Sommeliers, also known as CMS. Why I decided to take it about 8 years ago is another story for another day, but this is the how. You'll laugh, I cried. Happily, it's long in the past at this point. The first rule of the CMS exam is that you don't talk about the CMS exam, but I don't think that I'm breaking any blood oaths today by sharing just some of the details that happened to me. There are 3 parts to that examination. So you start in the morning very early with a paper test, and then you go right into blind tasting. And then you sort of simmer in your own anxiety juices for the rest of the day while you wait for the mock exam. Now, the mock service exam is just like what it sounds. You're petrified. You're waiting all day for this thing to come around, and basically you're serving an empty table. Except it's like the worst table you've ever served in your life. It's rapid fire questions about cocktail, beer, wine, pairings, and all. In the meantime, you're trying to execute perfect service and talk to the examiner who is speaking for the imaginary guests at the table. My first task, and this is important, was to deliver 10 glasses of sparkling wine to the table on a tray. Now, I think that this is important to mention that while I had been in service for many years, I had never worked fine dining and I had never done tray service or cocktailing. So you can imagine that disaster quickly ensued, even though I did practice in the months leading up to it, but nothing is quite the same as getting used to working tray service on the floor of a restaurant. So that was a disastrous event in which I dropped the entire tray onto my brand new suit that I could not afford and was dripping Franciacorta. So I did what I would do if it was the restaurant. I squeegeed my face, I made a small joke about it, and then I moved on. And, you know, in restaurant service, it's what we have to do. You just recover and try to make the best of it. You just breathe and try not to exacerbate the situation. Cut to, I make it through this, table service, but I'm already just trying to do my best and get out of there at this point. And to add insult to injury, the examiner says, okay, if you could just take those glasses and clear the table. I started to put them on the tray and he goes, oh Jesus, never mind, just leave them. So I leave the exam literally dripping sparkling wine. And, obviously I failed, right? You don't hear until everyone has taken the exam. When it's concluded, they, have a powwow about it and then decide who they're going to give the pin to. And a bunch of us organically met up in the bar at the place where the examination was taking place, which so often happens with restaurant people. And, we're all thinking and lamenting like, oh, definitely I didn't pass. In the end, about 10 of us out of 40 who took the exam passed. And when my name was called, the examiner said, oh, come up here, don't look so shocked, because I was so flabbergasted and flummoxed by the fact that I had passed. Now, you could think, well, I guess the test wasn't that hard. I assure you it was. But the moral of the story here, and my takeaway all these years later, is that you might not be 100% strong in every aspect of restaurant service or anything in your life. But we each have our strengths, and my strengths were the things that won the day for me. My memory has ejected that from its bank about, the other things that happened during that mock exam, but they must have been good enough. They must have been strong enough and proficient enough to show that I knew what I was talking about, even if I couldn't carry a tray of wine across the restaurant without spilling it all over the place. And my other thought and takeaway is that if I hadn't have passed that exam, I wouldn't have lost anything, except the money, of course. But all that knowledge, all that self-examination, all that studying was still mine. I still earned that and I still owned that. So whether I got my certification or not, I still had that knowledge built up. And some test takers were cocktail servers. Some of them were banquet people. Some of them were buttoned-up wine nerds looking to, move up to beverage directorship or wine management. And some people, it was just a masochistic hobby, which I can't really wrap my brain around, but God bless them. But we all thought that the others deserved it. We were all looking at each other, feeling our imposter syndrome and feeling our weaknesses. And just wanted to conclude with, it's really scary to put yourself out there. And I'm not saying whether you do or do not need to get certified. That's not what this is about. It's just that you have to do some scary things sometimes to get yourself out there and to make, some progress and some growth. That's story time for today. Let me know if there's other stories you'd like me to tell about my experience in the wine industry. And that's all for today, friends. Thanks for watching. Bye.